He was once called the worst freshman his coach had ever seen. Let that sink in. The kid who's now an NBA All-Star, a point guard with ice in his veins and a choke celebration that drives crowds wild, was once written off as a joke. At 14, he was cut from his AAU team. By 18, he still had no big-name colleges knocking. And even when he got drafted, the league barely blinked. But Tyrese Haliburton didn't need hype. He didn't need the spotlight. All he needed was fuel.
Tyrese Haliburton, superstar in the making. Haliburton looking much more aggressive. Got it. Haliburton, another three.
This is the story of a player who turned every rejection into rocket fuel, from being overlooked, doubted, and traded to becoming one of the most clutch, unselfish, and feared players in the league. These are 10 facts about Tyrese Haliburton that will completely change how you see him and maybe even how you see yourself. Let's get into it. Most future NBA stars start with dominance. Tyrese Haliburton, he started with heartbreak. At 14, when most top players are getting ranked, recruited, and hyped, Tyrese was cut from his AAU team. Not benched, not overlooked, cut. The kind of gut punch that makes most kids question if the dream is even worth it. For a while, Tyrese did question it, but then something clicked. He stopped waiting for approval. He stopped trying to prove anything to anyone but himself. That rejection became a switch, one that turned on a relentless work ethic and self-belief. Most players chase clout at that age. Tyrese chased craft. It's no coincidence that years later, when he stepped onto an NBA court for the first time, he played like a guy who already knew what it felt like to be left behind. You think your coach is hard on you? Try being told you're the worst freshman ever coached. To your face. That's exactly what Frank Shade, Tyrese's high school coach, told him. Not to be cruel, but to be real. Tyrese's fundamentals were raw. His shot was weird. His confidence wobbled. He didn't look like the guy. One day, during a drill, a younger kid blocked his shot. The whole gym went quiet. Tyrese walked off the court, humiliated, holding back tears. That could have been the end of his story, but here's what happened the next morning. 6 a.m., empty gym, lights off, one kid shooting alone. Tyrese was already back. Not because someone told him to, but because he had to. He started tweaking his shot, watching film, reworking his mechanics obsessively. He wasn't trying to be great. He was trying not to be forgotten.
I wasn't the kid at the top that was like trying to stay there. I'm the kid that's way at the bottom trying to like chase that.
His jumper used to be so bad, people called it unfixable. If you've seen Tyrese shoot today, you know it's unconventional.
It's low, it's quick, it's smooth, and it works. But back in high school, his jumper was flat out ugly.
Scouts said it was unorthodox at best, and unusable at the next level at worst. One coach even joked, you'd have to change everything about it if he wants to play in college. That kind of criticism breaks most players, but Tyrese didn't throw it away. He studied it. He spent hours filming himself, adjusting inch by inch. He didn't want to look like everyone else. He wanted to make it work his way. That broken form, it now has him shooting over 40% from three while averaging nearly 10 assists per game. The same shot they laughed at is now torching NBA defenses every night.
I had a really good game. We lost, but like every coach in the country, it felt like was there. And so I remember the game got done, and like I was like, ain't nothing. But in my head, I was like, yo, this is about to go up. This is about to go up.
Fortnite. He went 18 for 18 from the line in a state championship game. Senior year, everything changed. Tyrese led Oshkosh North High School to the state championship game, and when the lights were brightest, he delivered one of the coldest performances in high school history. 30 points, multiple clutch buckets, and a perfect 18 for 18 from the free throw line. Let that sink in. 18 straight in a pressure-packed title game. That's not just consistency, that's ice in your veins before you're even legally an adult. That should have been the game that put him on every recruiting map in the country, but instead, no major colleges recruited him, even after the title game. Despite putting on a clinic in the championship, Tyrese heard nothing from blue blood programs. Duke? Nope. Kentucky? Not a whisper. North Carolina? Crickets. Even Wisconsin, his home state school, passed on him. Why? He didn't dunk. He wasn't loud. He didn't make mixtapes or rack up viral clips. He just won. Eventually, Iowa State came calling. A solid Big 12 school, but far from a national powerhouse. They offered him a chance. That's all he needed. And within a year, they realized just how badly the rest of the country had messed up.
Bro, when I got to school, I talk about this all the time. Taylor Horton Tucker, we went to school together. Two other guys that were 4-stars at the time.
One NBA scout predicted his stardom before anyone else. Freshman year at Iowa State, Tyrese averaged a modest 6.8 points per game. Not exactly draft board shattering. But one scout watched him live and saw something different. Not stats, not highlights, impact. After one practice, the scout pulled the coach aside and said, "He'll be your highest draft pick ever." He was right. That one moment changed the trajectory of Tyrese's career. He started believing maybe this dream was possible, and he worked like someone who'd been given a second life. By sophomore year, his numbers jumped. His passing vision, floor control, and defensive instincts couldn't be ignored. He was drafted 12th, and it still felt like a snub. In 2020, the Sacramento Kings selected Tyrese Haliburton 12th overall. 12th. Despite being one of the smartest, most efficient guards in college basketball, most teams passed on him. Analysts said he had a weird shot, limited athleticism, and a low ceiling. Translation, he didn't look like the guys on highlight reels. But Tyrese knew something the rest of them didn't. Impact isn't always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, surgical. His rookie year, 13 points, 5 assists, 1.3 steals per game. Elite efficiency, veteran poise, and all that without being the lead ball handler because he was sharing the floor with De'Aaron Fox. He didn't complain. He adapted. That's just who he is.
So the whole time when I first got with him and just giving him the ball, the first thing I noticed and came back to my head was everything Coach Gerg had said to me was don't mess with his shot. And the minute we started working out, he rattled off like 10 straight. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely not messing with his shot.
The Kings traded him, and fans still can't believe it. In 2022, Sacramento made one of the most shocking trades of the decade. They sent Tyrese Haliburton to the Indiana Pacers for Domantas Sabonis. On paper, it looked like a win-now move. In reality, they gave away a franchise-changing player.
What's the instant reaction around the league to Sacramento trading Tyrese Haliburton?
Stunned. I think Tyrese Haliburton was stunned, Malika. The league is stunned at this trade, and the fact that
Tyrese didn't whine. He didn't tweet cryptic messages. He got to work. Within weeks, the Pacers' offense looked completely different. The ball moved faster. Teammates played freer. The culture shifted. And it was because of one guy. Tyrese wasn't just running plays. He was running the locker room. By the 2025 season, Tyrese was 12 for 14 in game-winning or game-tying shots. That's not just luck, that's insane composure under pressure. Playoff buzzer beaters, deep threes over double teams, calm free throws with the season on the line, and then the celebration. After one legendary moment, Tyrese flashed the Reggie Miller choke gesture, a nod to Pacers history and a message to every team that doubted him. He had become everything they said he couldn't be: confident, cold-blooded, and undeniable. Let's not forget, Tyrese Haliburton is just 25 years old. He's a two-time All-Star, he's made All-NBA, he's led Indiana to one of their best seasons in years, and he's done it not just with stats, but with leadership. He's the guy who texts teammates late at night with film clips, the guy who hypes up the locker room, the guy who always makes the right play, even if it doesn't show up in the box score. In an anonymous NBA player poll, some even called him overrated. His response? Another playoff win. Tyrese Haliburton doesn't talk much, but he answers loudly every single night. So what do we learn? That greatness doesn't always look like a mixtape. It doesn't always go viral. And it doesn't always come from hype. Sometimes it starts with getting cut at 14, with crying after a block shot, with working in silence while the world watches someone else. Tyrese Haliburton is the living proof that belief, work ethic, and persistence can take you anywhere. Not just to the league, but to the top of it. If this story inspired you, hit that like button to show love for the underdogs. Drop a comment out of which Tyrese moment, and also make sure you subscribe and click the bell to get the notifications.